Hello Q-Steppers, and welcome to another tutorial in the series of How To in R. This tutorial will get you started using the basics in R Markdown. R Markdown is a useful package in RStudio that can be used to produce different report outputs, including HTML, PDF, and Word. In this tutorial, we will cover the Word output document. So why use R Markdown? The key reason is that it automatically embeds the code, output, any plots that you have created, and your write-up into the one document, making your research projects reproducible. It is a great method that you can utilise in RStudio to create code-embedded assignments, or if you need to create an annex of your code for a research project, or maybe a dissertation. And I'm sure whoever is grading your work will thank you for using R Markdown. As well as the write-up in your R Markdown document, you can implement titles, subtitles, bold and italic text, and embed code within the write-up, which we will cover in this tutorial. To be able to use R Markdown, you will have to install and load the R Markdown package. And here is an example of the code. So once you have completed that, to open a new R Markdown script, you can click on the paper icon with a plus sign and choose the R Markdown option. A window will pop open with title, author, and output required. And for this example, we will choose the Word option. So this is a blank R Markdown document. Now, as you can see, there is some information on the page, so you can just go ahead and delete this information. Okay, so for this tutorial, we will work with a R Markdown document that I have already created. So how does it all work? So you place your code inside a chunk. This is a chunk here with the grey area. You can add a chunk by clicking on a blank space, click on the C+ and choose R. So to show how it works, we will just use a simple calculation of 1 + 1. To run your code, you can press the play icon inside the chunk, and this will run the current chunk. Now, as you can see, the output appears directly underneath the chunk. So for various reasons, you may not wish to embed the code into your final output document. You have options to hide the code or the output of the chunk by clicking on the settings option within the chunk, and you can change the output. So to show the output and code, you can click on Show Code and Output. To show output only, you can click on that option. Now, as you can see, in the curly brackets, R has changed to echo equals true for show output and code, and echo equals false for output only. But remember, it's always best practice to show your code and your output to make reproducible research. So to include some plain text, you put your cursor out with a chunk and you just type. All pretty easy. So as mentioned, we will now run through the features that you can incorporate into your knitted work document. So to add a main header, you can place one hashtag with the title. To create subheadings, you can place 2 hashtags or 3. To create a block quote, you can use the greater sign. To implement italic text, you place 1 asterisk at each end of the text. For bold, you would add 2 asterisks at each end of the text. For superscript, you can place *2*. And to embed code within the write-up, you can place 2 backticks at each end of the text. To create a hyperlink, you can place the link name in the square brackets and the full link in curly brackets. So you can see that here. To embed a bullet point list, you can use asterisks and remember the space. For sub-items, you can use the plus sign. To create a numbered list, you can use number with a full stop and the space, again, sub-items with a plus. And to create small tables, you can use the text, and you can also use the vertical lines and dashes. Once you have finished your code embedded report, you can then knit the document. To do this, you can click on the knit icon. This will automatically knit to Word as it was your preferred option that you chose at the beginning. And this will also save into your working directory folder. So here is one I made earlier. So as you can see, go back up to the top. From here, you can see the comparison between the code that was executed. So here is show output and code. Here is show output only. Here is your write-up. And here are some of the features that we went over as well. So some top tips to remember when using R Markdown. If you're importing data, you will have to set the working directory in each new R Markdown script. And you will also need to import the data. You will also need to import the data again, even though it may be in your global environment. If you do not do these, the document will not knit. Also, something to remember, if you are creating visualizations in R Markdown, always double check the graph in the knitted Word document, as sometimes part of the graph can be cut off. All you have to do is just copy and paste the graph from R straight into the Word document. You can find out more details on R Markdown at rmarkdown.rstudio.com. Hopefully this short tutorial has got you familiar with how to get started with R Markdown and create a Word output document. So happy coding, Q-steppers, and remember to subscribe to our social media channels, and thank you for watching.